Michelle owes Emily $10,000, and we have watched a movie with the Green Booger and Robin Williams.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with
Michelle,
Andre,
Louise,
and me, Emily. We're a family-friendly podcast where we pick a new Disney movie each week. We watch it, share our thoughts, and then relate it to pop culture, fandoms, and anything else that pops into our heads. Enjoy!
nobody cares.
hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 114.
Yeah, sober. Everybody's being a little bitch.
Hey, stop! You can't hit out the gate with the
first
curses.
off, she's mad. Nobody else is upset.
I am mad.
She's mad
Sounds
because
a little mad.
she bet me $10,000.
Andre's a little upset.
She didn't have any right to bet.
Okay.
Because we already did this.
No. Andre's mad now because he's married to somebody who owes someone else $10,000.
Yeah, she out here
because
throwing numbers
somebody
around.
was like, we've already done the Jungle Book.
We did.
We did the live action and the animated version.
We did.
And I said, no. And she said, I'll bet you $10,000 if we would have watched it.
For anyone that
But it does
doesn't,
like that.
for anyone that doesn't know my wife, she's worse than a loan shark, so you don't want to owe her money.
For our longtime listeners out there, please let us know if you remember us talking about the Jungle Book,
We
either
already did
the
it.
old animated version or the live action version.
We very well could have talked about it, but not like done an episode on it because
I've gone through my
We'll do it
files.
again next week and talk about it again.
she's scrolling through our Instagram right now like a harpy, just like.
I've gone through my
I'm
files.
really
I've gone through our
upset
list of
because
episodes on
it
our
appears that
website.
we haven't done it.
Uh-huh.
So maybe but I saw it.
No.
Yeah, you saw it, and we
see
talked
it.
about it as friends, but we did not record it for a podcast. Put that mic on your mouth, Miss Cheek
I
Mike.
might have said we're never doing that movie because I hate Christopher Walken.
You might have said that,
I
yeah.
might have said that.
How do you hate Christopher
'Cause
Walken?
he's
What
a
is wrong with
stupid
you?
Monkey.
Oh, well,
Okay.
well, hold up.
He's an orangutan, first of all. Why don't you get that right?
You can't hate him just because of one film.
I think we haven't done it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we.
but listeners, prove me right.
She
think
said
we did
110% sure.
It
and
was
I
110%.
She started throwing out $10,000 numbers.
Why haven't we done this movie?
That's a good question.
because you said I hate Christopher Walken and that stupid monkey.
I'm pretty sure we did it, and maybe we just forgot to post the episode.
No.
I'm sure I
I'm
forgot
so-
to post it.
I'm literally so
the
convinced that we
lost
did this
episode
movie
of
because
The
we
Walt
talked
Vault.
about the vultures and the cartoon one, and then we talked about how the vultures weren't in the live action, and it was like weird that the vultures weren't there.
Michelle, I think you must have dreamt this because I don't remember any
I
conversation
don't
about
remember that
vultures.
either. Plus, I'm telling you right now, I have never seen the animated.
The animated.
The
The
animated
animated.
version.
I ain't never done seen that animated version. This week,
Yeah,
we are talking
so
about
fine,
the
we'll do it next week.
1997 live-action Disney film, Flubber.
Clubs. Okay, guys.
Did you
so
call it a green booger in the?
Yeah,
in the
Louis
intro?
Louis was like, "We're doing the movie about a stupid green booger." So this is the deal.
Whoa, bleeper. What's wrong with you?
I said stupid green booger.
Oh,
That's what? I can't say booger.
No, apparently he's upset with the STUPID.
Oh,
He doesn't want you to go to the club without IDs.
Okay.
You go to the club, you don't need ID. Okay.
Everywhere go, it's a party, y'all.
We gonna get it popping like,
Like
a
a
Mardi
Mardi
Gras.
Gras.
This
Okay,
movie
so
stars
go,
Robin
go,
Williams and Marcia Gray Harden.
I
Oh,
have a
Marcia Gay
comment.
Harden, excuse
I have
me.
a comment.
And it's
You
directed
already have a
by
comment?
Les
Yes.
Mayfield. Yes.
So this is the deal, you guys. This was
Andre can't even
5
get through his freaking
No.
words.
Can't do
No, he
anything.
5 weeks of Michelle movies mayhem. You liked it. You liked it. You liked it. You liked it. And then I only had one miss, so that's pretty good.
How do you know that it was a miss?
Because you guys didn't
We haven't
like
given
it.
our first impressions
I haven't
yet.
even told you how I feel about it yet.
Y'all don't like it. I
Why
could
are you
tell.
so dramatic?
I could tell.
She's over here. She's just trying to get out of that $10,000
Man.
hole right now.
she's
Yeah.
just trying to fiddle faddle right now.
What's a fiddle faddle?
Yeah, do I gotta bleep that too?
Are you putting it as like a possible?
Oh,
Possible
my
bleep.
God. No, leave in fiddle faddle. That's funny. That's not funny, fiddle faddle. Okay, continue.
Bleep it a lot. Yeah, this movie was directed by Les Mayfield, and it stars Robin Williams, Marcia Gay Harden, and Christopher McDonald as
Is
the
that-
bad guy.
Yeah, Chris, hold on.
Wait, no, he's like the rival.
Okay, the rival
He's
dude.
Wilson.
He also like plays bad guy, like
Yes.
rivals in other
When
movies.
he came on the screen, Luis and I were like, "This guy."
This
He
dude
just has
right
that
here.
face.
I don't know where we've seen him in other stuff, but he definitely.
I mean,
Definitely
he's been in
some-
like a gajillion things. He's a super huge character actor. He was in Happy Gilmore. He was in Thelma and Louise. Let's go to the 90s.
I just know his face.
Yeah.
Like I don't even have to know where he's from. It's like that.
I think
dude,
that's one
that
of the-
guy. like
That's
you
one of
said.
those funny things about rewatching older movies like this is seeing people who, you know, especially like in our younger years, you would have seen him in multiple movies or seen people in
He was
multiple
in
movies.
Leave It to
From that
Beaver.
era.
Leave It. He was the dad, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
There you
Lord.
go.
It's just funny because then you're like, oh, they look so young, and you remember them, but you can't quite place them. I love
Right.
that.
The
That's
character actors, man.
Yeah.
They're out here. They're all over the
The
place.
flubs.
fun. And we do,
Flubs.
and we do love IMDbing them after.
Uh-huh.
Flubbers flubber, but they don't flub down. Okay.
Okay.
What?
Like Weebo wobbles. I'm a beer in, y'all. Okay.
We're on one right now.
Entree.
Yes.
What is your first impression of Flubber?
Flubber. I remember it very, very fondly. It was like one of my favorite like Robin Williams movies as a kid. And now watching it as an adult, I realized that it didn't age quite as well as I thought that it was going to when we announced that,
That
we were
was a
watching
very
it.
nice way of saying he didn't like it.
No. I won't say that I didn't like it because it had a lot of funny moments. Like all the Flubber stuff is like really cool. It's just the characterization of Robin Williams that I misremembered and his absent-mindedness. This movie is a remake of The Absent-Minded Professor.
I've
How
never
do
seen.
you
I've never
remember
seen
him?
that movie.
I remember him being an eccentric scientist who was making Flubber, and then Flubber was causing problems in
And
his
that
life.
he was like funny.
Yes, and that he was very
like,
funny.
funny.
What I didn't realize was that he was ruining this poor woman's entire life.
Don't I love when you
For
watch
years
things
and
as an
years and
adult
years.
And you're like, oh, like your childhood mindset is
He left
gone
her at the altar
three
three times.
Yeah, this dude's gone.
And then she comes back for a fourth time at the end of this movie. And I literally can't believe it. Homegirl, Sarah, go to therapy, girl. You got to get away from this fool. This
We
fool
gon-
is
we gon'
bad
get into
for
that.
you. Anyway.
All right, very good.
So
So you kind of liked it.
So yeah, I kind of liked it.
All right, Luis, first impression. He told me he has one word to say.
It was awful.
I thought he was gonna say garbage. Oh.
No. Me and Ems, we're like 20 minutes in. We look at each other like, it's barely been 20 minutes. It feels like an hour. It was brutal.
Don't try to give away my first impression. You better back it up.
Back it up.
Yeah.
And you know what,
You
though?
know nothing about my first
The science
impression.
wasn't sound. Okay, let me start there.
That's such a Luis thing to say.
You just made me witch cackle. Okay.
Totally.
He was like, if I just use this gamma radiation, then I can make the Flubber fly. It's
Oh.
like, what are you talking about?
Totally
You have a remote control for this already?
unsubstantiated science right there. And it also, I'm pretty sure he had uranium. Like,
Yeah, like
how else are you going to...
He was doing some Doc Brown stuff.
this
up in
dude
there.
has got Middle Eastern friends who,
Dude.
you know, he talks to on the black market. You know what I'm
Stop.
talking about? He's like, y'all got that plutonium cake? I'm trying to get some in my
No,
basement.
And this quote did it the most to me. And I don't blame him. I blame the writers. Writers, did you have like little, toddlers sitting around a kiddie table writing for you or something when you wrote this line?
They might have.
I'm not absent-minded because I'm crazy. I'm absent-minded because I love her. Or whatever that quote was. Do you remember?
Wow, Luis
Yeah.
doesn't like this.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, we remember.
That was pretty close.
We were there. We saw it.
It
That's
does.
the
Yeah.
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You're right, it
If you
doesn't make
loved
sense.
her enough, like you say you do, you wouldn't have forgotten her
Yeah,
4
bro.
times.
You got to pay attention.
Okay.
Dumb.
Maybe set more than one alarm.
Louis-
You know what I'm
Louis-
saying?
Didn't
Weebo.
like it.
Maybe.
And I'm
I
done
love
with the
that our husbands
podcast.
are really upset about that part.
And I'm done
They're
with this
so upset about
podcast.
that part.
Okay, I didn't even mention the fact that
Go off, Lou.
the car is at some point is flying at such a high altitude. They should have all died because of the lack of oxygen.
He was above the clouds, man.
Luis is a realist, y'all.
Should have set more than one alarm.
Should have said more than one. Maybe he shouldn't have designed a robot that was gonna purposefully forget stuff for
Don't
you.
hate on Weebo.
I will absolutely hate on Weebo. She is evil.
Okay, can Emily and I give our first
Oh
impression?
yeah. Go on.
My first impression of Flubber is this is not how I remembered it as a kid. I love Robin Williams, absolutely, and that you could kind of tell that they wrote his character so that he could be very physical and like do his Robin Williams thing. You know, still, is it his best movie? Absolutely not. I love him better in lots and lots of different things. Yeah, when we were watching it, I agree with Luis. So I was about 20 minutes in, like, oh, what did I get us into? Like, this is not what I remembered. It was fine. But yeah, as an adult, sometimes when you go back and watch movies that maybe were good as a kid, it's like, oh, like it feels like Smart House kind of all over again, but like worse to me. It was fine though.
Bless you.
But I would say like maybe the only thing I still liked from the movie is Weebo, so I guess we'll fight about that, babe. Emily, first impression.
It was a movie.
Oh my god, I love when she always says that.
It was a movie. I haven't got to say that in a long time.
Yeah. It's been a pretty rocking month, you know.
Yeah, we had a rockin' mayhem Mick month.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I give you
The only thing missing is the McRib.
Luis loves the McRib.
The McRib from the 90s.
It comes back every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
It'll be back.
Man, that's like a white unicorn right there, man. They never advertise it. You just know when they have it.
Yeah, you know how
other color.
you know all those black unicorns are all out there, they're everywhere. Okay, but the white unicorns.
The purple unicorns.
I remember one time in college. You know,
what story are you about to tell?
One time in college.
That's my second witch cackle. Ready for it? Go, Lou.
One time in college, you know, it was just like a random day. I was hanging out in the middle of like the student union, and then, you know, my fraternity bro texts everybody in the group text. Is like, dude, the McRib is back. It's on gear. And we just book into our cars and fly over there and get a McRib. It was the best thing ever.
He booked it in his car and flew over there, just like
just like Phil.
His face is so mad right now.
Your sarcasm is unappreciated. It's about as sound as the science in this movie.
I feel really bad because Hakuna Matande told me they're going to watch the movie this weekend, and I really wanted to be like, don't do it.
No. Okay, so let me finish
Emily,
my first impression. I knew what okay, so it was easier for me to go in expecting not to like it and then not be let down because I didn't want to be like, everything else has been good, this is going to be great, and then like not like it. So I knew that I didn't like this side of, this isn't my, like we talked about, not my favorite side of Robin Williams, but I do like his physical comedy. He is quite hilarious. So the parts where he was being Robin Williams, like you were talking about, was really good. But I literally hate mad scientist-y type movies because it drives me nuts. Like, you can just see the mayhem coming, and to me, that is not my cup of tea.
But you liked The Shrink, right?
Honey, I Shrunk.
Isn't that kind of mad scientist?
Them chickens.
Semi, but the things, I guess
isn't it weird that movie is like way more grounded than this one?
Yeah,
it makes much less, it makes much less sense. This one is a little bit more like
zany.
I mean, I will 110% agree with Luis though, because as he was doing this experiment and making the actual Flubber thing, I'm like, I don't remember saying anything. I thought Flubber was just like his pet. Like one day he would like accidentally blew up his lab, and Flubber was just there, making it? Like. Yeah, the science.
It just, I think I never realized that I have a lot of like anxiety in movies. Like if there's too much happening, like too much, you can foresee it happening.
Right.
Like you're not trying to think about it, but it's coming, and you're like, dang it. Yeah. Like it gets me like really like choked up, and I could just feel it coming, and I was like, good God, this is gonna be a whole movie of just.
It's that kind of anxiety in a movie where that like predictability that makes me start like yelling at the TV.
Exactly.
I was definitely yelling at the TV last night when we was watching it. And then like movies like this and like Garfield, which when I was 13 I got up and walked out of. I couldn't deal with it. me and my cousin went in to watch Garfield. Was like, I can't handle this. This is ridiculous.
I have to tell this very ridiculous story, but I told Luis this story when we got married, and he thought it was the funniest thing ever. So we've talked about my father in many situations, and most of it is doomsday-ish,
Sure.
and this is similar. But I remember very specifically when World War Z came out. We went to the theaters. It was me, my boyfriend at the time, my mom, and my dad, and we were sitting just all next to each other. And if you've ever seen that movie, it is high anxiety the whole time.
It's intense.
And we all love Brad, right? And
Gotta
my
love
dad
the
has
pit,
a
man.
I
problem.
like that movie.
It's a great movie. My dad has a problem with like yelling at the screen, just like what you're saying. And we're in the theater. At the bottom of the theater, and my dad's like, "No, Brad, yelling in the theater, and he starts like getting up, like he's doing like this thing with both of his hands, like he's gonna stand up, like to yell at the
Oh dear.
He's gearing up to
like,
stand.
Dad, stop! We're in a movie theater. Oh yeah, Brad, no! And I could see his like heart beating out of his chest, and he had to freaking get up and leave the movie theater. He
go.
left and just like paced outside for
This
the rest
situation
of the
is
That's how you
too
felt
tense
about
for me.
Flubber?
Well, not so much that I felt like that about Flubber, but like I thought he was the weirdest man in the world at that moment.
Right.
And I feel like now that I'm becoming I'm much more of an adult. I just look at these things and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of starting to feel your anxiety of this situation. Like if this was your basement, like I felt for that poor kid. Flubber kept going through his freaking window.
Oh my
and,
God, the neighbor
Oh,
kid.
No
that
wonder
poor
that
neighbor's
kid is like
scarred for life.
traumatized. Good God. I don't even know if this is still my first impression. This movie's just cray.
This
and
movie's
not in a
wild.
good
First of all,
way.
I love apocalypse movie. I love a good like Zombieland, World War
Well,
Z,
Zombieland
Mad
was
Max.
all
fun.
of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
good. I
Bill
love it.
Murray and
Ooh, what's that one we
Yeah,
watched
Zombieland.
where that solely looking dude locked those two people in his basement, and then when they came out, the aliens
Oh,
like ate them?
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh,
good. We
yeah,
watched that. Did
one
we
is
watch that one
so
together?
good.
We might
Did you call
have.
him Sully?
Dude.
That sully looking dude.
Yeah, he's like Mike Sullivan.
You're talking about freaking
Michelle,
It's John Goodman, who plays Sully.
you need to watch Train to Busan.
Oh yeah, we should watch Train to Busan.
Train to Busan was actually really good until the end. But go ahead.
So let's get into this storyline, shall
Yeah,
we?
let's jump
Sorry,
through.
anxiety got high there for a
First
second.
of
That's
all,
okay.
I just need to say that Robin Williams, I still love him. And when there's the moments, like you said, when they're writing it for him, it's very nice. But if a man left me at the altar 3 times,
No, if a man left you at the altar one time.
Yeah, one time.
Like,
That's
one
all.
time
oh
is
yeah, there
enough.
wouldn't be no 3 times.
Can you imagine putting down 3 different deposits? Oh no,
Which is
no,
so
sir.
interesting because that's kind of how this movie starts, right? We have a professor, and he is doing his thing, at
He's
his
got
home.
a teched out
He has
house.
his teched out
He's got
house.
his gadgets.
We find out that the college that he works out is possibly going to go under. Like, it's going to get shut down, right? Because they don't have enough money to keep it open.
Right.
So he's like a, I almost said psych professor. No, he's chemistry professor or whatever you call it. Why do I keep wanting to say something that starts with a P?
Physics?
Yeah, physics. Maybe he's more like a physics professor. I don't
No,
know.
I would
No,
say
I think it's
chemistry.
I think it's
Yeah.
chemistry as well.
All right, so him and his boo thing, Sarah, who he is engaged
Which is his
to.
boss.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
That's true.
It
Is
is
she like
true.
the school administrator?
Totally unethical.
Yeah, no, she's like. I don't
I
don't
thought she
think
was just a teacher. You think she's?
No,
I
She's
think
like
she was the
professor-
president of something.
Let me see.
Oh.
I couldn't figure out if
I
she
know.
was like the equivalent of a dean.
She's the
of
president of the college.
Oh Jesus
But
Christ.
okay, so when we're saying
Of the
college,
science college or
yeah,
of
are
the
we
entire
talking of, like-
university?
Probably the science college.
because I'm assuming that the science wing was about
Or the
to get
College
shut
of
down.
Science?
Yeah, like the College of Science, not like the of the university.
Like department. Fancy word for department.
You're talking into nothing.
I think she is the president of the entire college, because it doesn't
I don't
say
know,
Totally
I agree
unethical.
with what Emily was saying. I think it was like the science college.
well, regardless.
Regardless, she's above him for
yeah,
sure.
she.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's a
Hopefully
conflict.
they went to
Regardless.
HR and signed those disclosure forms.
It's a
Girl,
conflict of
girl,
interests.
Girl. Yo,
Who's the girl?
you-
Me?
Sarah.
Oh.
You let this
Sarah.
man leave you at the altar 3 times, and you still getting married to him. So immediately, right off the bat, I thought as a kid, I remembered Sarah being like so cool. She's marrying like this cool guy, right? Nah, Sarah, you dumb.
It's so interesting because, like, at first we see him in his house, his teched out house, and he's talking to Weebo, his
Love Weebo.
robot, his robot
crazy.
friend, his robot pet or whatever. And Weebo is going through his schedule, and she keeps skipping over 6 o'clock wedding day. 6 o'clock wedding day. He's like,
That's
okay,
my
I got
laugh
this,
release.
and I got my class, and then I'm hanging out with Sarah at some point, and then something else happens. And he's like, what am I missing? What am I forgetting? And she keeps flashing wedding day.
Yeah, she keeps flashing it when he's not looking.
And then I think at some point he remembers, and he's like, oh, is it my wedding today? Actually, no, I don't think he does. He doesn't. He
thinks
doesn't.
it's
No, he
tomorrow.
says it's a haircut.
Yes.
He's like, oh, I got a haircut
A
today.
haircut.
And she's like, sure.
But at some point in this scene, it comes up that like his wedding is today or tomorrow,
He
and
remembers
he can't
because when he
can't
goes
remember.
to the college, he has lunch with Sarah and her girlfriend.
Yes.
And they're like, how do you, and his girlfriend is like, how do you stay so calm? And he's like, what?
She's like, how do you hide your excitement?
He's like, for what? And she's like, your wedding. And he's like, oh, my wedding.
That's
yeah,
right.
he's an idiot.
Mm-hmm. And this is where we also find out that
I
he's.
see, and I thought in this scene that Weebo wasn't helping him out because she was like, bro, you got to remember this on your own. Like, I can't remind you.
Oh,
this.
you thought
it
she
was-
That's kind of how I took it.
she was trying to
from
be
this
helpful.
scene. Like, she
Helpful
was like,
robot.
I'm not going to remind you it's your wedding day. Like, you should freaking remember that it's your wedding
Yeah, if
day.
my iPad started not telling me about things, I'd be pretty upset
Yeah,
with the programming.
I like Weebo still.
Yeah.
Should we tell everybody why I like Weebo?
Sure, go ahead.
Weebo is Jodie Benson.
That's right.
It's Ariel. Luis is like, wow, this makes sense. She also is kind of very Ariel-esque, like, Daddy, I love the professor.
But Daddy, I love him.
I want a body.
Uh-oh.
Even though
What
he
was
has
Louis-
no brain.
Well, Luis, what were you going to say? You put the mic by your mouth.
I want human legs.
Oh.
She didn't have legs either.
Yeah, no legs. She's a floating little robot. So yeah, I mean, Weebo.
I think I just want a Weebo. Like, it would be cool to have, like, a floating robot
It
around
would
my
be
house,
cool to have one,
like, do things for
as
me.
long as it wasn't plotting against me
Yeah,
and my
as long
relationships.
as it was doing what you were supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because even though she was like mostly harmless, she's also very intently
Causing harm.
sabotaging his human relationships.
Yes.
Which
For
is an
sure, but
issue.
she's so cool. Andre made a comment that she's like the OG GIF machine.
Oh, dude, she only has GIF replies.
Yeah.
Everything
She's
that
out there
comes
with
up.
all of the claps.
All the GIFs.
All
Yes.
of them.
A
She's
lot
like
of goofy GIFs.
she's like the video version of Bumblebee from the Transformers movies, where he's
Yeah.
like doing
Yeah.
audio. He does audio drops, and then Weebo does
totally.
GIFs, and they're both yellow.
I like
I will
Weebo.
say that she was cute.
Yes.
Like she was like floating in a way that was like cute. Like I did
Yeah.
care
It's
about
still
her.
kind of held up, too.
Yeah,
It wasn't
I
bad.
like the way that she behaves and stuff like that, except for the complete sabotage of his
The
Yeah, she's-
Karen
of
of
She's
her.
also
Yes.
insane, but
against his
she kind of got a
fiance.
little smart house in her going on with that.
So when Phil drops the knowledge to the audience that he has forgotten this wedding 3 times in a row, and that he also forgot that the rehearsal dinner was last night, and that he forgot that the wedding is tonight, and he's just all over the place. I was like, is he on drugs?
You thought he was on drugs?
This was the first
Oh.
5 minutes of the movie, and I looked at Luis and was like, "Dude, I'm already done because if you literally can't remember what happened last night, like
Like, bro.
we're done. Like you need to either be on medication or you are
Yes.
on too much
Yes.
medication. There is like nothing. You cannot be forgetting what
I
happened
think as
last
a,
night.
Yeah,
It's
as
9
an
a.m.
adult, I was like, yo, he got some mental issues.
I was like,
a
how
disability,
did he become a professor
I don't
with
know.
the same disease as Drew Barrymore from 50 First Dates? Like, he has no short-term memory at all. It's nuts. I was like, what are you talking about? You don't remember?
Cackling today, huh?
Goodness gracious.
Well, I've got to tell you why I'm not intentionally witch cackling, but I will say that it is extremely. It's very relevant to
Yeah.
this movie because I literally made the connection of why I don't like why I
Robbie?
don't like scientists.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Why?
Because they remind me of witches. Just
What?
I'm pretty sure this.
What do you
Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble.
throw in an eye of nuts, an eye of uranium.
What? in the
You
world
are
you talking
from
about?
1624, and you're like, kill the witches. And they're like, I'm just trying to do science. And you're like, kill them.
Well, let's be real. Everyone
Oh
thought
my
women
God.
just because they had a brain were witches. So what's the difference? Okay, I literally felt like he was being a witch
Right.
in his like
In his late,
what do you
his
call
lab.
it? His bath,
His in his basement lab.
basement. He just was freaking. I'm gonna do a little of this and a little of that. I agree with Luis. I feel like the science was very haphazard.
Yeah, it was a little shoddy.
And his
For sure.
tests, like his
Oh my
variables.
god! Every time he's
What
like
the hell?
talking about his experiments, and it's malleable. Like, calm down, bro.
So at some
just
point
can't.
here, so this is all taking place in like one day, right? So he goes to work, and his wedding is tonight. He goes to work. He talks to Sarah. She reminds him that his wedding is tonight. He's like, yeah, that's right. 6:30. Okay, got it.
And then he goes home and makes some flubber.
Well, he goes on to continue the rest of his day. He meets up with his rival, Wilson, who strolls into his classroom, and he's like, hey, what's happening, man? What's going on? This weekend's pretty important for you, huh? Isn't it? Guess what? I'm here to steal your girl, okay?
Mr.
Your
Steal your
straight
girl.
up, I'm gonna
entire
steal
girl
your
is
fiancé.
mine. She about to be
Like,
my wife.
These are the words out of his mouth. I'm going to steal your fiance. Like, that's
okay.
not, that is literally a quote.
Yes.
As soon as he said that, I was like, what?
I guess it just phases over you as a kid.
It's
Somebody
so interesting
said that to me, I was like, oh,
because like
Keshi's hand.
Because, like, right, the scene, I'm about to throw down. But the scene before this, I was like, this dude is out of his gourd. He's on drugs or whatever, and he doesn't really deserve to be with Sarah. But then Wilson comes in, and he's like, I'm about to steal a girl, and I'm immediately
Mr.
back on
Steal
Robin Williams'
Girl.
side. I'm like, don't let him talk to you like that, man. You gotta shut this down. This is
Because they're
ridiculous.
both crazy.
But as the movie goes on, even though Wilson does act like a jerk the entire time, like he's not a good person.
I'm kind of like Sarah. Go with Wilson.
But at the same time, I'm like, Sarah, this might be a
Sarah
better
is not
overall
into him,
choice.
Also, okay, so
Or you.
we gotta skip to this.
he's an
missed-
entrepreneur, okay?
He missed
an
his
innovator.
wedding again because he was like,
Because he flubbed.
wait a second, I could do this and this and this to make this compound in the middle of him getting ready for his wedding.
Right.
Made some flubber and just lost track of time and
Made
ran
some
experiments till 6:30 a.m.
Yes. So he probably started making flubber at what, like 2:30. He's like, I got plenty of time. I'll make some flubber. I'll hit up the wedding, and then I'll come back and continue making flubber, honeymoon flubbering, you know. But instead he gets heavily distracted because he actually creates something impossible.
Alive.
He puts a strand of his own hair into the mixture.
That's why I said he was a freaking witch.
Yes. He's like,
Well, and I
organic
didn't catch
catalyst.
that until
Organic.
Andre said it, and I was like, I still don't understand how Flubber's alive. And Andre was like, he put his hair in there. I was like, he did?
No,
Like,
it's got
I missed that
Robin Williams'
completely.
DNA.
But also, just
It's about
because
to
you
have
put
hairy
DNA
palms in a
something
minute.
doesn't mean it should be alive. This isn't no polyjuice potion. Like, what are we doing?
It's a polyjuice potion child.
Yes, exactly. So that is why I assume that Flubber can think and create, and he has so much
And
knowledge
is crazy.
of things
just
already.
like him.
Yeah, and he's a little crazy. You know, Flubber should be more
And
forgetful,
also,
honestly.
Like, Flubber is kind of barely in this movie, so it's interesting that the movie's called Flubber.
I
Like,
I
he
thi-
makes a lot of different versions of Flubber and stuff.
Yeah.
And I get that's like flying, rubber, flubber, but they really could have just named it like the absent-minded professor.
Yeah,
And
I
just,
think that's all from the absent-minded professor. The flubberness of it, like he creates an invention and he has it around, but it's really his absent-mindedness
Yeah, it's more about him than it is about the invention.
than it is about the invention.
and that's why I think that they should have just called it the absent-minded
But yeah, them
professor.
naming this Flubber, I guess, was a marketing thing. You know, let's change the title.
It's weird.
You know what I mean?
Because then it would have explained, oh, yeah, this is why he's so crazy, and the movie's literally called the absent-minded professor.
Yeah, I mean,
you
they
know?
say that he's absent-minded. I think that comes through in dialogue a couple of times, but for the most part, yeah.
It does, because
it's-
Luis did not like that.
So as
Yeah,
he's
so Mrs. Studio Girl comes like the next day. Doesn't? No, he's at the altar. He gives her a ride home.
right,
Yeah,
yes.
he ready. He
So-
knows that Philip is going to.
That's what he said.
Make
He's like,
this
I'm gonna see you
This has
tonight,
become a
Studio
pattern
Girl.
at this point.
Whoa, it's Mr. Studio Girl.
Oh my god.
Wow, we really took it down.
It's Mr. Studio Girl.
I think like yeah, Wilson. He at first he was like, "I'm going to your wedding tonight. I'm gonna steal your girl," and I was like, "Why are you invited to the wedding? What is happening?
'Cause
What's
they're-
going on?"
Used to be like colleagues.
Yes.
No, he was not invited, but it's hilarious that he knew to hang out
He
outside.
knows where it's at.
Yeah.
He knows
Because it's
everything.
always at the same church.
Yes.
Because at the end, the priest or whomever is like, finally.
Finally.
So you know it's the same people every time.
It's so
I would
funny.
stop showing up.
It's so funny in this beginning, this third wedding, when it's cut to
Third wedding.
it's probably like 6:45, 7 p.m. or whatever, and he's not there, and Sarah's starting to cry, and a couple at the front of the wedding, they just get up and walk out. They're just like, bye.
This is where you know Luis is done.
Like,
Because
I can't
really,
believe we
you
came to
invited
this
us
3
again to
times.
this?
Luis was like, "Oh no!" When the person stood up, he was done. He's like, "Well, this movie's over."
Like, they walk in the
'Cause
whole
I don't know
room.
about you guys, but like at a wedding, I don't know. You just never want to be the first one to get up.
Yeah, I mean,
First one to get up is the married couple.
Let's be real. Luis is always the first one to want to get up, but he's just sitting there like, "Somebody else get up. Somebody else
Right,
get up. Somebody
yeah.
else get up."
and I mean,
Not that we've ever been to a wedding where
where somebody
someone
didn't show up.
come.
Dang,
But-
I would love. No, I wouldn't love that. I mean, I would for the drama, but
I'd like it a little
Like
bit
a
for the
TV
drama,
show.
but I would hate it because I
it'd be
got
so
up
uncomfortable.
today to go have some food. Okay, I came
I got
here
up this
to
way.
eat. I got dressed up and I came all the way over here to eat at y'all's wedding. And I know if this fool don't show up, we
You
ain't
ain't
eating.
getting no
Okay,
shrimpies,
they ain't
no
nobody
shrimp.
giving me no cake because this fool ain't here. All right, this is ridiculous.
Andre on the hashtag always snacking.
Andre comes to your wedding.
So the open
not to
bar's
see your
closed.
love.
Is that what you're telling me?
No
All right,
open bar.
no open bar.
No open bar. No michelada.
Michelada.
So Phil, he still is completely oblivious. He's running experiments. He's like, check it out, it's flubber, it's stretchy, it's malleable, it's doing all this. It's very elastic, it's foldable, it's gullible, it's ductable.
Hold on, can we pause it here because I feel like what are you doing? You looked like you were possessed for a second.
He's a witch.
I didn't see it.
Good
He's
God,
a
his eyes
witch.
rolled back into his head. You freaking me out.
Okay.
Ow.
Luis
This
is
feels
mad at
like
a
the
Lapras or
beginning
something.
of a
Anywho, so
horror
at the
movie.
same time this is all happening, a news plot line kind of pops in, and it like confused me at first, but it seems like there is a kid who was a part of the professor's class
Oh,
Right.
who was
yeah.
supposed to have been
On the basketball team.
he was on the basketball team. He was getting like a full ride or whatever to the school,
Yeah.
and his dad is like some rich dude
Richie
who
rich
was
man.
supposed to have bought off all of the people in the college to give him A's so that he could play basketball at the school.
That's
called them-
totally how it seemed like.
Right.
Which sounds
Basically,
like
that's what it
which
was.
sounds like Lori Laughlin, which
'Cause
is
his dad's
hilarious
giving
because
money
she
to the
literally
school.
just got
She got sentenced.
today.
2 years in prison.
2 months.
2 months. That's all she got.
2 months.
Sweet pants. I
Oh.
literally read it. It was 2 months in prison. Oh,
Yuck.
thank you, Lori Laughlin.
Cool.
Anywho,
Isn't it fun to have money, guys?
I know.
Hooray.
So this gentleman who has a lot of money is getting his kid
I
full
called
ride.
him Rich Daddy in my notes.
Yes, rich daddy getting all his stuff.
I regret
But
now.
he got kicked off the team because he has a professor who failed him from the chemistry class, and he can't have a fail to be on the team.
Right.
So he sends his 2 henchmen to go figure out what's going on with his professor and try to quote unquote like persuade him.
That's right.
And so the professor's downstairs doing his flubs and
His flub on.
doing his flub on, and that sounds bad. And the 2 thugs are outside
Looking through the basement window.
looking through the basement window and observing. And this is probably my favorite run-on joke from the whole thing.
Yeah.
But go ahead and explain what happens because it's kind of funny.
So okay.
the
Yeah, all
hand,
of a sudden
the
it-
hand cream.
Oh yeah, all of a sudden
Which
this
is
was like
disgusting.
Home Alone to me. All of a sudden, I was like,
I
all right.
said the same
yes.
thing. I was like,
it gets
"Whoa,
very Home
good
Alone in
God."
this scene.
But
which
I also
I-
love Home Alone,
Which I also have not seen Home Alone because of this type of thing.
You've never seen Home Alone?
Andre made-
Shenanigans.
When did you make me
It's
watch
fully
it?
shenanigans.
Dude, that's a
It was-
Christmas
it
movie.
was
We
a
can't
couple-
watch it now.
It was a couple of months ago,
At
but
Christmas.
it was
You
probably
made
at
me
Christmas.
watch it. I
Yes.
had never seen Home
I
Alone
don't do
either.
shenanigans.
We'll
like
watch
that.
it again.
You
It was
wouldn't like
Christmas.
it then, but it's really good.
So yeah, Phil has
Shenanigans.
figured out a way to use both gamma radiation and some other non-scientific things to turn Flubber into a liquid, and then he mixes this liquid with a hand cream so that he can rub it onto stuff, so that he can expel the properties of Flubber onto other things. So he in his infinite wisdom, decides to do it on sports balls. He grabs a golf ball, puts some hand cream on it, and then he like bounces it, and it flies all around the room because Flubber is extremely elastic. So it's spinning around, it's breaking bottles, it's smashing glass. It's very unsafe. He's not wearing safety goggles or nothing. And
Yeah, he's kind of reckless.
I
For,
want to know about what the heck is his deal with sports, because you know he ain't playing those
yeah,
sports.
like
What
he's
is your deal with
super
sports
obsessed
balls?
with sports. He doesn't watch them, but he's all about it. He's like, I'm gonna sell sports stuff. Hooray!
Stupid.
Flubber is gonna be so applicable to sports.
Applicable to the sports is.
So he the golf ball is bouncing around the room, and it smashes through the basement window and hits one of the thugs directly in the head. I was like, boom, ow, that hurt pretty bad.
Boom.
And the ball goes
Nah,
flying
if that
up
was
through the
going
air.
as fast as that dude would not be getting up. Golf balls
Okay.
are hard.
Yes, this is where I was about to get to. Okay, the ball, it bounces off of his head and flies directly into the air, hundreds of feet up, seemingly. And then, yes, please. Then, Robin Williams, he's like, oh, okay, that worked pretty well. And so so then he puts the Flubber hand cream.
I'm sorry, hold up. He is not concerned as to where the heck that golf ball went.
No concern
knowing
whatsoever.
dang well
He doesn't
that
wanna get
golf
it
ball
back.
hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? Where is your ethics?
Oh,
man.
he doesn't have
He has
any.
none.
I mean, look at his house. His house like explodes on a regular basis, and he
That's
has like
such a
neighbors
90s
and stuff.
thing to do, like exploding.
I think that's
Blowing
why
up the
I have
house?
a problem with it. Like, this is not like real science. Like, you can say it's
No,
real
it's
science,
not.
but like, you're an issue, bro, to society. Menace to freaking
A
society.
menace to society, a menace to the neighborhood for sure. So
Show.
he escalates. He puts the hand cream on a bowling ball.
Why?
And he
Like,
puts,
how does that seem like a good idea?
and he puts on a helmet. Like, what are you doing? You could have started with a bouncy ball, you know, something soft, foam, anything.
Weebo.
But no, he grabs a 12-pound bowling ball and rubs this Flubber hand cream all over it, and then drops it like an idiot, and it bounces all around his lab as well. And it's much heavier, much denser, much more destructive.
Andre was like, wait, they're alive?
Okay, when the bowling ball
hit him in the head.
flies
Oh,
out the
900.
window and smack this guy in the head, I'm like, okay, there's
But
no
babe,
way he's conscious.
He's
That
murdered.
stuff also happened in Home Alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were
And
getting
you
hit pretty
didn't say
hard
it
with
then.
bricks and stuff like
But
that.
this one, he was like, he did.
Well, okay,
His head would be.
the force with which these dudes are being hit,
Yeah.
as opposed to Home Alone. Like, Home Alone is like, oh, a brick from 2 stories up. That's going to hurt pretty bad. He might not be getting up
Yeah.
from that. This bowling ball is going 750 miles an hour at this
Yeah.
dude's head. It flies up into the
Yeah.
air, and then it comes back
That's
down and hits
That's
him in the head again.
That's when I'm more concerned. Like, the first time when it hits him, I'm like, oh man, he done. And then it goes up into the air and then has to come back down. I mean, they say that like if you drop a penny from like, you know, the top of the
The Empire State Building.
Empire State Building, you killing somebody.
Uh-huh.
Okay, same idea here. Like, but times a million because it's a bowling ball.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the scientific math on this, but the bowling ball hits his head, goes flying up into the air, and probably doesn't come down for another like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the lead time on that seems to me like a couple thousand feet. Like it's gone like a mile up into the sky.
I would say farther.
Falls onto this fool's head.
And it's literally doing that for days.
Yes.
So to
Over
me,
the
that's
next
the
couple
funniest-
scenes,
Yeah, that's the
the
funniest
balls
part to me
keep
in the
bouncing.
movie is periodically you see the
The
tennis
bowling
ball
ball
and the
and the
bowling
golf
ball
ball.
just. Oh yeah, you're right. The golf ball.
Bing, bing.
All right.
Right after each other.
Pop, pop.
Yeah, it goes your brain. So yeah, these dudes are laid out in the alleyway, and they like struggle to make their way back to Rich Daddy's house to give their report. And meanwhile, Phil inside, he's like, "Wow, incredible! I just murdered 2 men outside my house." I think this scene actually happened after the 6:30 a.m. thing. But he at one point he finds out that he's been working all night and that he's completely missed the wedding. He's like, Weebo, what time is it? Is it almost 6:30? I have to go to my wedding. And she's like, yeah, it's 6:30 on Saturday. And he's like, no, that's not right. My wedding is at 6:30 on Friday. I know that. I remembered it. I'm smart. And Weebo's like, bro, you missed your entire wedding, and it's mostly my fault. Weebo, I messed it all up. But actually, no, you're right. It's him.
It's him.
So he
Don't
goes
blame Weebo.
he goes to Sarah. It's the next day. It's the morning time. She's at work. Which did y'all not have honeymoon time planned off? Maybe she learned from the last couple times she requested leave to go ahead
Well,
and not.
isn't it Saturday? Why is she at work?
Oh yeah, that's true. It's Saturday. She's the president of the college.
Maybe she's
It's
just like,
failing.
let me work because I'm frustrated. I don't know.
I guess. But and he goes there like he's going to work as well. But yeah, it is Saturday. But he's
Saturday classes in college.
okay. That's true. He's there. He goes in. He's like,
I didn't
I'm
take
so
no Saturday class.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did this. Oh, and she's like,
And
you
he brings the
broke?
flubber in.
So this is the thing, is that he's like, Sarah, I have a perfectly reasonable explanation for why I missed our wedding a third time. I don't have a really good a third time. I don't really have good explanations for the first two, but this time I got a real good explanation. And she's like, I don't want to hear it. You broke my heart. And he's like, but Flubber. And she's like, get out of here.
And then he flies out the window.
Then he's like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how cool this thing I made is. He puts Flubber in his back pocket and decides to hang his butt out the window. And he's like, you're going to see me in like 3 seconds. I want to bounce right back up here. Check this out. And then he goes to lean back. He says, bye-bye. And then Flubber flies out of his pocket. And then he lands directly onto his tailbone. And that's paralysis for the rest of your life, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what?
Have fun being a quadriplegic, dude.
Sanka.
You're dead. You're dead, man.
Yeah, dead man.
So yeah, so she doesn't take him seriously at all, and she tries to move on with her life by hanging out with Wilson, who's right there. He's like, "Hey, girl,
So creepy.
what's happening?"
What happened?
But then I guess Phil just gets up and goes back to the house, and he's a little bit sad, but he's like, "Oh, let's get back to work on Flubber." And he's like, "I'm gonna create a flying car and all kinds of stuff."
I think that's what drives me nuts about his character is that there is. And maybe that's just part of it is that because he's supposed to be like absent-minded, like that's his. I just can't see that as being your defining trait as a human being.
Yeah,
is that you're absent-minded.
Yeah,
like that's just
and how you could get through life.
Yeah,
like how do you pay your bills?
Well, how are you a college professor?
Right,
like you couldn't be a.
How do
genius.
you get that far?
That's what I'm saying. You can be a genius, like no doubt, but like. How do you then apply yourself to get through school and then become a professor?
Right.
And then like live your life and pay your bills and do all that stuff.
It's pretty wild. Like he really can't accomplish anything.
No.
Or he shouldn't be able to accomplish anything.
Plus, I just don't like that. I don't care about him. Like I know that sounds mean, but I don't have any like connection to his character because you don't even see him be sweet or caring.
Yeah, I definitely don't have any empathy for him. Like
no.
he is out of this world.
No.
And should probably be locked up for like war crimes or something like that. But
you should definitely be on the FBI's watch list with that uranium.
Absolutely, man. I'm telling you, this dude has been onto the dark web. Okay, he's like, what's going on over here? Where the plutonium at? Plutonium. He's making all kinds of stuff. He's got flubbers. He's got plutoniums.
He began that.
Sorry, guys. When I start laughing right now, I cough because of all the smoke in there. I'm like,
So he goes back to tinkering. He creates the flying car.
And he somehow ends up at like a basketball stadium.
Yes. So this
is
like the school's basketball court. That's a little bit later.
His plan to win Sarah back. He's like,
yes,
because he like goes to spy on them on their little date, and Sarah and what's his name, Wilson. They make a bet, right? So she's like, if my team wins the game, I'll buy you dinner. And he's like, if my team wins the game, you got to go
away with me for the weekend.
Out of town with me this weekend. And she's like,
slightly date rapey, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, so he thinks he's cool too. He's like, I got this in the bag.
He's like, yes, I nailed it. Sarah's mine.
And Robin Williams is like,
stop making that face.
So he basically is like, no, I got a different idea. But before he gets the idea, because this idea comes to him in his sleep, Weebo does something really weird.
Holy moly. This is where I'm like, Weebo, are you okay? We need to shut down Weebo forever. Her artificial intelligence has gone too far. Okay.
Well, and that's the thing too. That's a second issue that I have with this movie. My first issue is he's unlovable. Second issue is, and Luis was like, what in the good world? He's like, Luis said this. He created artificial intelligence and he cares about snot.
Right, yeah. Like, what are we doing with Flubber, dude? Can you see Weebo?
Like, legit, this robot has feelings and emotions, and he just cares about sticky stuff.
I think at the end, though, he was like, it was just like an accident that I made.
I mean,
her. So maybe he doesn't think he can do it again.
If you're talking to Weebo on the phone, she passes the Turing test, which is like if you can tell if a person is a robot or not, and you wouldn't be able to tell.
No, definitely not.
Talking? No.
Yeah, absolutely. And so she, in the middle of the night, Phil has fallen asleep.
Oh, this creeped me out. This gave me the jeebies.
She goes to her computer, and plugs herself in. She makes a composite out of a million faces of models and makes this perfect, beautiful looking girl, I guess. And she picks out an outfit and then composites that and creates a hologram of a real life girl. This is Weebo in real life, you know.
And it was so.
And then like sneaks up on him in his sleep.
Yeah, that's the sneaky part. So
Oh.
so she
Gross.
goes up there. She waddles her way into the house. I don't know why I said waddles, but she like seductively walks into the room.
I don't remember the scene at all as
and
a kid.
stares at his face and then leans in for like a hologram kiss. And I'm like, what is happening right
You
now?
wake up, you see the hologram. You're like, what?
He wakes up.
He's so absent-minded, he doesn't know.
He's so absent-minded that he doesn't see a hologram in his face or that Weebo's in the room. He wakes up and goes, I got it. And then he starts waking up and Weebo like bolts out of the room, turns off the hologram, goes downstairs, plugs herself back in and pretends to be asleep.
Yeah.
She's straight up an
And
iRobot.
she's like,
Like the, what do you call that thing? The Roomba?
Yeah, like a Roomba.
She's like totally a Roomba.
Yeah.
Making her way through the house and plugging herself back in. Goodness
Luis
gracious.
and I just did the same thing if you had the mic on his mouth.
And she's like, whoa, that was close. He almost caught me doing the creepiest thing anything has ever done on Earth.
What would you have done if you woke up and there was a
Hologram?
hologram of just some chick?
I would
in your
probably
room?
hit it, but then my hand would go through it.
Right?
Weebo, we need to have a serious talk, okay? Number
No,
one,
I'd shut
how
that
did you
thing
learn
down.
to do this? And number two, can you make her naked? Never mind.
This is a family-friendly podcast.
Radio.
So what does he discover in this moment? Do we remember? He has.
That he's gonna win his girlfriend back by going and winning the basketball game.
That's right. This is the
Cheating.
enormous revelation that Phil has.
This is where
Another
Again,
major
unethical.
Issue. Unethical
him
stuff.
cheating the basketball game.
Good God, yes.
There's a bunch of nerds. They weren't gonna win.
I mean,
But you're still cheating.
and is this the way to show it off? Like, why not?
His brain makes no sense.
Why not go to a basketball team and say like, "Hey, you guys want to try some stuff out? It'll make you jump real high."
Sounds like you're peddling steroids.
Also,
I mean, yeah, absolutely. But he didn't even try that. He was like, "I'm gonna secretly do this and freak out all of these kids."
Yeah, but also nobody was like that freaked out about it. Like they were like, "Did you see how high those kids jump?" And everyone was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing in the rule book about jumping high." I'm like, "You're not at all
The
concerned."
refs don't
that
shut
this
down the
is
game at all.
weird?
These kids are jumping 45 feet into the air.
Some
And
like
literally
freaking
from one
Space
basket
Jam
to the
crap
other.
going on right
Yeah.
now.
That's what I
It's
said. I
nuts.
was like, all of a sudden we're in Space Jam, but a very less cool version of
Yeah.
Space Jam.
Also, so we kind of skipped over the scene where he goes to the basketball court to test it all himself. So he puts it all on himself. He sprays Flubber on his shoes. He sprays it on the ball, and then he jumps around the basketball court, weighted down with a bag of flour or something like that. And then it goes disastrously wrong. Like he flies through like the backboard, and he hits a wall. And the flour explodes, and he's like, "Wow, that was awesome! I'm gonna do this to 16-year-olds. This is gonna be great."
Not 16.
How old are they supposed
They're
to
in
be?
college.
Are they?
Yeah.
so they're 19.
it's a college basketball team. They just
Oof, they all look real wimpy. They were real
yeah,
small.
they're at the science college. Yeah, I think they're not supposed to.
Yeah, I
on the
guess so.
basketball
Okay.
team.
Yeah, 19-year-olds.
Wow. What, Lou? That's me.
He heard a thunking.
There was a thunk.
Well, at least you didn't hear someone rattling a doorknob.
Because
you
What
know,
doorknob?
What doorknob?
Doorknobs
we
be
don't got
falling
no
off
doorknob.
in this house.
Or stuff. It's a
We
fire
might be
hazard.
trapped in here forever.
It's a fire hazard.
Dear. It's okay.
It's not okay. I'm still
There's
mad about
literally-
it.
Fires around us the size of Rhode Island is a fire hazard if you have no doorknob.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's all good. It's all
Well,
good.
fine, he said.
He tells himself. So he had gone to the basketball court, tested it all himself. It went horribly wrong. I can't believe he made it out of there alive. And
I
then
agree that was not like a
Hold
winning
up, peeps.
test.
It was not a successful
Didn't he
test.
like pretty much destroy the stadium too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
So wasn't that the same stadium they played at?
yeah,
Yeah.
like
How-
a day later.
Logically, would they have even continued the game if it got like
Listen,
ransacked like
it's a
that?
movie.
Yeah, and he never like went to stop the
Again,
basketball from
Get
flying
Get out of
around.
the realm of
reality.
impossibilities.
Movie. It's a movie.
No, it's a dumb movie.
So the funny part about the actual basketball game though, when he puts the tacks into the kid's shoes, is before the flubber kicks in onto any of their equipment or whatever. Phil is just like watching in the stands, and he's sitting right behind Sarah
He's,
and
like,
Wilson.
honking the horn,
And he
like,
grabs his horn and he honks it right in Wilson's ear. And I'm dying laughing because it looks like it hurts Wilson a lot. But at the same time, Sarah is 2 feet away from him.
She does not care.
Her ear is getting straight blasted by her ex-fiance. And she's just like, oh, well, I'll probably fall in
Again,
love with him in 2 days again.
Where is the science?
There's no science there anywhere. It's just that she's not in those shots. So I guess you're to assume that she didn't feel the force of that blast
She
coming
also
from right
like
behind
totally
her.
wants to kiss him, so
Sarah.
because they win the game, so their team wins the game, and then they like turn to each other and they're like, ah! Like almost gonna kiss, and she's like, no, I can't.
I can't. You left me at the altar 3 times. For Flubber.
Girl, if he left you at the altar 3 times, at this point there is no rules in your relationship. Like, who wears the pants? It's obviously him. So
I thought you said, "Where's the pants?" And I'm like, I don't think.
Where's the
Weebo
pants?
wears the pants.
Yeah, there
okay?
ain't no pants.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
there's not even any legs.
No capes.
So the squirrels,
Daddy, I love him.
they go from like it was like 62 to 2, and then the kids they their bouncy powers all start kicking in all at the same time. Yeah, bouncy powers. And
No, Emily's laughing at, I'm a real boy.
whatever.
I hated this movie. Do we have to keep talking?
Yes, we're only halfway done.
He does break his leg.
So when their bouncy powers kick in again, all of these kids, these college basketball players who are huge nerds, and they all wear glasses. There's like 12 of them. They all got glasses on, which is very funny.
First off,
Yeah, go
back
ahead.
up about the glasses.
Go off, glasses.
What's wrong with glasses?
I'm just saying that their nerd appearance was like very stereotypical. Okay.
Yo, you wear glasses at work, you Clark Kent.
I'm
Look
not
at
saying
some
glasses
of
are
us,
bad.
What
I'm
are you
saying
trying to say about my glasses?
I'm saying for this movie, they were like, we got the big boy team and we got the nerdy boy team, and the nerdy boy team, they all got glasses, so you know they're about to play bad.
You
That's
want to know the
what
best
the
part
movie
about
is
it, though?
saying.
Is that Rich Daddy or whatever his
Uh-huh.
name is? His
Heck of
kid.
his.
His kid
was
is on the
on this
science team,
team.
so I guess he was like the star player or whatever,
Yeah, he was like the star.
and he was going to lead them to success,
No.
even
What?
though
That just
90%
doesn't
of the
make any
team.
sense.
Also, his dad
Was
bet like
awful.
$10,000
Against
them.
Oh, good God.
That's why he was real pissed when they lost.
Yeah, this movie's wild. So the kids get their powers right, and they all just adapt. I don't understand why they aren't all.
Nobody's
freaking
like,
out.
oh my God.
The kids that are
Yo, we
bouncing
need to move past
17
this
feet into the
basketball
air.
game. Okay, the basketball game is over.
Okay.
Dang.
The absent-minded professor goes to Sarah and was like, yo, I did that. I won this game with Flubber. And she looks at him like, yes, that's extremely unethical. Leave me alone.
That is not what she said. She didn't even look at him like that. She was just like, all right, well, I still don't want to be with you. Like,
Yeah.
she should have been like, you literally just cheated. Like, she should have done what's his name in the last movie?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
No, oh, not that movie. The other movie, the Freaky Friday, where the guy was like, you shouldn't have cheated. I can't be with you.
Right.
Because that's not good.
That's not cool, man.
No,
that's
cool to
wrong.
cheat, man.
Can't be a racing test.
You don't remember that? The test and the erasing the I'm stupid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant like cheating on a cheater. Like,
Oh no
like
no
a
no!
relationship.
Cheating on the test.
I was like,
But
I
just
don't
like an
remember that.
unethical act that the boyfriend was like, I'm not with this. This is
Right.
no
So then
no
he goes
good.
home all defeated. He's like,
You can't be a professor and doing that
Man.
stuff.
he's like, man, I lost. And then I don't remember what happens after that, but eventually Sarah gets back with him.
Yeah.
Wow, you just went to the end
of the movie.
No, she gets back with him like in the middle.
So after this, then he manages to talk her into getting into the car with him, and he shows her that the car can fly. Oh, I think
Oh, I remember.
she gets excited
I remember.
about the
He's
the
like,
win.
No, I remember. He's like really upset when he comes home, and he's like, Weebo, I just love her, and I'm just absent-minded.
Oh, that's
because
right.
I love her, and Weebo like films him saying all this, and then Weebo feels bad about
Yeah,
herself.
Weebo develops
She
another
goes to
yet another
Sarah's
emotion
house
she's not
and
supposed to have.
shows her the video of him saying that, and then she shows up. She just goes inside his house in the middle of the night. I don't know how she did that. I guess she got a key and kisses him, and then they made up.
That's the dumbest
made
thing
up
I've
that
ever
night.
heard. I'm
They made up that
absent-minded because I love her, yet you forgot every time you were gonna get married to her. It's the most
Yeah.
dumbest thing ever.
Like I can't believe he got away with that, you know? Like I
Yeah.
could never say anything like that.
Absolutely not. I would punch
and have it be
you?
believable.
Like, I love you so much, you know.
Did I forget everything?
oh,
that-
baby, the reason I don't do the dishes is
Yeah.
because I love you so much.
Oh, that's a bunch of BS.
And I just, you know, it just makes me, my love for you is so crazy. I just be forgetting to be doing them dishes. See how it's not working right now? That's what it should be happening in this. But Sarah sees that and she goes, oh, I understand. He's just crazy for me and not just regular crazy. So she gets back with him. She goes into the car. He shows her all the properties of Flubber. She's like, wow, this is amazing. We can sell this. We can save the college. And
and they go to Ford the next day.
they go to Ford immediately. But meanwhile, like Rich Daddy and his thugs, they're like planning a plot to steal
Yeah, they
Flubber
go steal it.
back from them. So right after they get back from their Ford meeting, which went very well, they're like, I've never seen that many zeros before.
Yeah, but they're going to donate it all to the school.
Sure.
Because what did she say? She was like, we're teachers. We're not in it to make money.
If we were in it for the money, we wouldn't have become teachers. Yeah, I feel that. And so then they get invited back to Rich Daddy's house, and this is where the real antics of the movie have their culmination.
Yeah, the last like 30 minutes of the movie is like pretty good.
Yeah. So Phil and Sarah are in there, and then Rich Daddy's there. He's like intimidating
I
them.
like that you call him Rich Daddy.
Rich Daddy, I don't know what his name is.
That's Rich Daddy.
I have not looked it up. And then they have the flying car waiting for them outside. They find out that Wilson, he's been sneakily working with Rich Daddy to steal the
Of
formula for
course he
Flubber
has.
in the background. Ooh.
Yeah, because there's like this ongoing thing where like the professor makes things and Wilson seems to just steal his ideas and make money off them.
Correct.
It's kind of messed up.
Which he admits to him in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it's
He's
seriously
like,
messed up.
I'm not an innovator. I'm an adapter. That's why I steal all of your work and get away with it. So he's there. And then at one point, this is all I want to get to. At one point, Flubber flies all around the room and goes directly into Wilson's mouth.
Oh.
And then bubble guts inside of his
Feel about
body
that, Emily.
and then bursts out of his butt in an explosive fashion.
It was nasty.
Right?
That guy should be dead.
He should absolutely be dead
Because he swallowed chemicals?
not just chemicals. He swallowed Flubber. Okay, Flubber is flying through his intestinal tract.
Let's not forget he
all
has
27
uranium.
miles. It's got plutonium and all kinds of uraniums and stuff in there. Okay, and also
You don't want to know how I feel about
All
this,
that
honestly.
periodic
the
tables.
the explosion from his butt is a nice clean sweep. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
I said. I was like, that would
And
not look like that.
I don't know if he hasn't eaten in 4 days, but if he has in the last 4 days eaten anything, some stuff is coming out before Flubber's coming out. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't
What's
depicted
inside your butt?
in the
I
film.
really
Oh
wanna
no!
know.
You're gonna
Stop
need-
singing that. I'm gonna bleep it. Goodness gracious! There's a lot of bleeps in this episode so far. Hot diggity dog.
Yeah, it wasn't a hot diggity dog. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Hot dog. Hot dog,
Goodness
hot
gracious.
diggity dog.
Yeah, so Flubber comes bursting out and he lies dead on the floor, and then Sarah gets married to him
I feel
again.
bad for Flubber because they just kind of use him all the time.
I mean,
Poor Flubber.
yeah, they never really go into
Like, keep him in a
how
cage.
sentient Flubber really
Maybe
is.
Flubber has feelings. Okay.
Weebo does.
Yeah, Weebo's dead at this point.
Right. The thugs come back to the lab at one point to steal the
Flubber.
formula, or to steal the Flubber itself, yes. And they beat up Weebo because
Were you sad that Weebo died, Emily?
this is like the Home Alone
Or
scene.
did you not care?
Weebo's poor
Luis,
death.
did you care that Weebo was dead? I still kind of saw it.
Lou
I
says
did.
no.
I did feel generally a sense of sadness.
Yeah.
I
was a
felt
little
sad
sad.
because that's the professor's only friend.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The only person who really cares about him.
Yeah.
Because Sarah's crazy too.
Sarah is nuts.
I'm sorry. If Sarah was more normal, then I would say that he had her, but she cray.
Yeah. They shouldn't have made it 3 times. They should have made it like he forgot at
Once.
the altar once. And
Like just that day.
yeah, and
Yeah.
she was really giving him a second chance or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well, 3 times.
3 times
Fair
is
enough.
insane. So yeah, they get out of there. They got Flubber. They got their flying car. Rich Daddy and his thugs are taken out or arrested or something like that. I don't remember what happens to them. But that drama is over. So they can get married again. And this time they've solved it. Okay, Phil, he's gonna make it to the wedding by zooming in. He does a
in.
teleconference at his
With
own
Weebette.
wedding. With Weebette, because once Weebo got destroyed, she uploaded her brain to computer and had a new program ready to go, new design for a Weebet who's blue and not yellow. She's she's take care of my daughter.
I thought she was red.
Oh,
She's red, yeah.
Whatever.
Not that matters, but it bothers me that she not only kept his love life from him, but she kept his genius of AI from him.
Right.
So she literally...
She's like, it's okay. Weebet's cool. She's pretty chill. She's like a regular robot. She won't be super smart like me. Yeah. And
I'm done.
so Weebo's dead.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah. So he teleconferences into his own wedding and then meets up with Sarah later after the ceremony has been performed. And they have a happily ever after where he forgets about her all the time.
Yeah,
I assume.
traumatize that kid while he's on the
During
plane.
their marriage. Yeah. That poor kid. Hot diggity dog.
I just gotta tell you, like, no.
Yeah.
No
And
way.
I just made sure, but Lori Loughlin did get 2 months, not 2 years.
2 months. Yikes.
2 months.
The corruption must be
Nice.
eradicated.
Must be nice to be rich.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
You can be unethical and not have any consequences.
Let's get ethical.
We
I
need to
wanna
get ethical.
Ethical.
Don't ruin a good song.
That song is not good.
and also
Don't ruin a classic song.
the
It's
ruined part is from
it's-
The Office.
It's from The Office.
Michael Scott, he's saying.
You guys haven't seen
Let's
it.
go
Michael
back.
Scott, don't ruin a song.
That's right. Okay, money. Let's talk a little bit of money about this movie. It had a budget of $180 million and had a box office
That's a
return
lot.
of $178 million.
So it lost $2 million,
No.
No.
78.
$178 million
and
is
the
what it
budget
got.
was 180.
The budget
mil?
was 80.
Oh, I thought you said 180 mil.
Gotcha.
I was like,
Yeah,
dang.
so it made money.
Okay.
And then it came out on
I mean, it's
DVD
97.
a couple
right?
years later. Now,
It came out a couple. What?
on DVD.
I thought you were gonna say. No.
VHS.
I was just reading through the Wikipedia article. Sorry.
Score.
On Rotten Tomatoes, this movie has the super high score of 24%.
Whoa.
Okay? And the audience score
is what?
is higher at 33%.
Yikes.
It's still pretty low. The critics' consensus is, with its overactive focus on special effects and tiresome slapstick, Flubber squanders the immense talent of its cast and crew.
Agreed.
Yeah, so
Dang.
that seems
You
to
know,
be...
so sometimes your parents made you watch bad movies as kids, is what I took from this.
I don't think my parents made me watch this. I think I watched this.
I think I
you know?
watched it, but we had like every single Disney movie ever on VHS.
Right.
So maybe
had
I
a
was
lot
just
of
like, I like Flubber.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
All right,
I like
Luis.
Robin Williams.
guess
Oh,
what?
also, hang on. I wanted, because 24% seemed really low for like a Robin Williams movie to me. So I
Yeah.
wanted to see if this was like the lowest
Especially
movie
'cause Aladdin is
that he's
like-
ever done. And no, it's not even close. There's a bunch of stuff he's got that's real
Well, he has a
low.
lot of
I would say
credits.
Jack was lower.
Jack is at 18%. You're
What is
correct.
Jack?
Jack is where he plays like a mentally disabled person. Like he's like
No.
an adult who acts like a kid. Isn't that it?
No, I believe it. He was kind of like the reverse Benjamin Button, where he's born. No,
He's
it is
he's-
Benjamin Button.
He's
pretty
a boy
much.
who's growing normally, but at 4 times the normal rate. Oh, so he's a little kid, but it is in an adult body.
Yeah, an adult body.
It's like Big, I guess.
That's weird.
Anyway, Jack, 18%.
Well, maybe they're just picking bad storylines for him.
I mean, yeah, Old Dogs, which I think is
Mm.
also is that a Disney movie as well? I'm
I
not
think
sure.
so.
It's him and John Travolta. It has a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
5.
And then RV has a 24%.
But have you seen Dead Poet Society, though? That was so good.
I mean, yeah, the high ones are high.
He was really good in that one. I think his best role was probably in Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting is the highest at 97. Aladdin's at 95. Insomnia's at 92. And what was
Dead
that one
Poet
you just
Society.
met? Dead Poet Society is 84.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's got some good ones and some bad ones. Robin Williams. Okay, yeah. So that was
Luis,
it.
what are you going to rate this movie?
5.
5.
Wow.
And to me, that's as low as you can get because an F is an F is an F.
An F is an F is an F. You know.
Andre?
I'm gonna give this movie a.
Good God.
a
It's the chin thing. I'm afraid your jaw's gonna fall
It
off.
might. I'm gonna give this a 6. I think 6 out of 10. I think that overall it's watchable, but
That's not a great description.
Correct. Yeah.
Tis?
Watchable.
It's watchable. It has its fun moments. There's something to enjoy about watching this movie, but at the same time,
What is
it's mostly when he's blowing that horn right in Wilson's ear. That's my favorite
Because
part.
Andre wants to do that to someone, probably.
He was like, "Brrr."
Andre's like,
There's
"Can I
been
do that?"
multiple people that I've wanted to do that to in my
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
just
that
didn't
was-
have an air horn.
That was a funny part.
Like
so,
at a graduation.
so fun stuff like that. There's flubber stuff that's kind of cute, and then the rest
like
of
when
it.
he's dancing to cha-cha.
Yes, exactly, which we didn't even mention. There's a whole
Hey,
dance scene with
yeah,
flubber.
wasn't that like an homage to the Three Caballeros?
It totally
Was
seemed
it?
like
And
it.
when that scene came on, I said, if Addie was watching this, she'd probably like it. Like,
Oh,
Dancing
yeah,
Flubber.
the mambo.
The mambo. But the rest of it, Robin Williams is his character is just a mess, and it's really hard to empathize with a main character that
Hey,
can't
what did
function.
what's the one where he dresses like a lady?
No.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
What's that one have?
Let's see. Do I still have that up?
I don't like it.
No, I just want to know the Rotten Tomato percent.
I don't like it.
That movie is great.
Where'd
That's
it go?
another one where it's hard to get past his character.
Hang on, I'm trying to find it. Where did it
I don't
go?
like the idea of a
He's
man
a
playing.
lady. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I don't want a
he's
man playing a lady
lady.
playing a. No.
That
How'd you
movie
feel
is
about John
hilarious.
Travolta and Hairspray then? You didn't like that either?
No, I didn't. But
Is it?
for some reason, it sat a little bit more easily with me because it's like that role has always been played
Yeah.
by a man playing a woman
Yeah.
because it was like supposed to be juxtaposing like stereotypes. So that one
Yeah.
a little bit more set well with me.
All right. Well, what are you going to give this movie, Emily?
A 2.
Two.
Whoa.
Just kidding. I'll give it a 5.5. I really don't ever want to watch it again, but I can see where people would like it. So I feel like it's not like
Yeah.
a 2. But Danny Elfman did some vibes on the vibe, and
Yeah.
it was the music
True.
was good.
Music was good.
Some vibes on the vibe.
Mrs. Doubtfire has a 71%.
That's about right.
I really like Miss Doubtfire. It's very funny. I just watched it not too long ago.
Yeah, we did.
Again, another one that I've only half seen, so I guess I shouldn't have huge feelings on it. But yeah. So it was a movie.
5.5.
All right.
Did you
I'm
rate it,
gonna
dear?
give it a 6.5. I kind of wanted
How
to give
many?
it a 6, but I'm
Mhm.
giving it a 0.5 just because it was a childhood movie that I watched, and that's about it. I probably won't watch it again, neither.
Word.
So
Neither.
because you guys had to put up with my movie mayhem, I let Luis pick the next movie, and I'm starting to regret it. So Luis, what are we
I
watching
am
next?
so regretting it.
We are going to watch the true story of Togo.
The true story. Wait, it's not called Togo.
It is called Togo.
Oh, I thought it was The Wild.
No. We're not watching The Wild.
That's a totally different
Dude, The Wild is
Wait,
that
isn't there 2 of these stupid dog movies?
There's many of these dog movies.
But what? Oh, is this the one with what's his face?
This has Willem Dafoe in it.
That's why we
This-
started talking about Jungle Book in the first place,
This
and you
is-
$10,000 owe me that I just forgot
Right.
about and then remembered.
Togo is a Disney Plus original film that came out in 2019.
Stop
Stars Willem
doing that.
Dafoe, and it
Playing
involves
with my toe.
dogs and
Stop
sleds
it.
and
Sorry.
ice and snow.
Okay, so I'm very
it's a
upset.
Snow Dog movie.
Yes.
I'm very upset.
We should watch Snow Dogs.
No, we're
Cuba.
currently we're watching Togo.
Cool. Anyway, go ahead, Emily. Her eyes are rolled all the way
Very
back.
upset.
When this movie came out, I said I will never
Mhm.
watch this movie. And
Yeah.
Louis was like, watch this movie with me. And I said, I will not watch this
So
movie
you
with
should
you.
make a deal with him.
I will not watch this movie. Okay, so I said, watch this movie on your own. Watch it when I'm not here. I don't want to
Mhm.
watch it. I don't do good with animals
Yeah.
and then almost dying. See,
Right.
anxiety again.
Homeward Bound.
Yes.
Homeward
No, that's
Bound.
very similar. I
love
don't,
that movie.
I don't like feelings.
Right.
How many times have I got to say this?
Yeah.
Anywho,
There's definitely going to be some dog whimpering in this
so
movie. I can feel it.
Louise, I can't do it. We'll watch it on
watch it with
silent.
Dougie.
We'll watch it with the sound off.
There you
That's a great idea.
go. Mute.
Anywho, so Luis watched it when. Okay,
Why?
so Luis watched it multiple times when I wasn't here, and long story short, my mother-in-law and father-in-law lost their dog that Adeline was really, really attached to, and they very, very quickly got another dog. I think in like, what do you call that? Like in They couldn't handle the loss of having
Yeah.
one dog, so they had to
right,
get
right.
another
Some
dog.
people do that.
A stress
yeah.
dog.
Yes, so they got themselves a stress dog.
And Addie did see this movie with me the second time.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
Adeline saw it with him like right after, and this was right at the time when the movie came out. And so now that dog's name is Baby Togo.
Oh.
Like legitimately,
Addie named him FYI. Is what she's trying
everybody
to
calls
say.
the dog Baby Togo.
Baby Togo, not
Yes.
just Togo.
No, just Baby Togo. And it's hilarious because
Wow.
everyone in Luisa's family speaks Spanish only, and they are saying
Baby
in
Togo.
English, Baby Togo. Like, that's the dog's name.
Baby Togo.
So that's the only reason that I'm not like murdering the podcast right now.
Well, okay. I won't reveal its Rotten Tomato score, but it does have an 8.0 out of 10 on IMDb. Togo.
I don't want to know the Rotten Tomatoes score.
I will not tell you until
Okay.
next week. So,
Togo is where what we're watching. I'd rather watch Homeward Bound. That's a great one.
we'll get there eventually, one day.
It's a tough one because right now I'm like, oh man, I haven't seen Homeward Bound in such a long time, and it was so good.
I remember loving
So
that
good.
movie as
Me
a kid.
too.
I watched it so many
Yeah,
times, but I remember
everybody did.
crying every time.
Exactly, but that was such a classic '90s movie that
the
everybody
cat was
watched.
funny. The
The
porcupine.
cat, yeah.
The
San Francisco.
porcupine.
I remember.
The
that one.
white dog was the best one. The one that was like had spots on
Yeah, the
it.
patch.
Yeah,
patch on the side.
him. I like that one.
Anywho.
I always thought that was the Target dog.
Target dog is much littler.
Hey, you guys remember the Taco Bell Chihuahua?
Everybody
Yes,
remembers it.
we remember.
Quiero
Quiero
Taco
Taco Bell.
I had a
Um,
little like stuffed one that sang, "Chances are you
What?
might wear a silly grin the moment you come into view."
Is this a Taco Bell song?
I'm telling you, I had a little Taco Bell Chihuahua, and it said "Yo quiero Taco Bell" on the back of it. But he sang that song, and I have no idea. Like, was he
Yo,
singing that
your
song to the
Chihuahua
taco?
was
What
possessed.
kind of commercial? Well, all right.
Right,
Anyway,
moving on.
yes. I don't even know how to
Togo.
process
Woof,
that.
woof.
Yeah, so Togo. Next week, check us out. We'll be watching the Disney Plus movie Togo. In the meantime, you can keep up with us on social media. We are at the Walt Vault Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere you get socials.
You get so
Hit us up there. If you want to help us out, you can follow us or you can subscribe to us on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. Hit subscribe, hit like, hit review, hit 5 stars, hit the notification bell, hit subscribe, hit follow. You all hit all the things.
All the things.
That'll help us out.
All the things.
Leave a review. That's helpful too. You can buy merch at our merch store. That's bonfire.com/the Walt Vault.
You can find on Amazon the Taco Bell singing Chihuahua
Oh
dog
my
singing
God.
"Chances Are."
Why was it singing that?
Okay.
Singing
I'm just
Chances
saying that.
Are.
It's from 1998. Thank you very much.
This episode of the Walt Vault was brought to you by the 1995 Chihuahua dog from Taco Bell singing Chances Are.
Chances are, 'cause I wear a silly grin the moment you come into view.
There's a little clip of the Chihuahua in the
Oh
cover.
God! Now I gotta put that on the episode. Okay, that's gonna be it for this week,
The
you guys.
outro was just the Taco Bell dog singing it.
Subscribe to us on Patreon. We have extra content there. We got notes. We got extra episodes. We got some old Kingdom Hearts gameplays. Let me know if you want me to play for more video games for the Patreon. That stuff's fun.
Nobody wants that.
play Mario Party.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that'd
we
be
do that
fun.
every
Not
Friday.
necessarily Disney related, but cool nonetheless.
We like non-Disney things.
Yeah, we like non-Disney
many.
things.
Like Pokemon.
Like Pokies.
And Harry Potter.
Doobie-doobie-doo. I think I've gone through
Doobie-doobie-doo.
everything. Hit subscribe, hit like, follow us on Instagram. We love you guys so much. Thank you for listening.
As we go on,
Go ahead.
We remember.
Uh-huh.
all the things we don't let me drink beer.
This Chihuahua is $28.
Oh my God. The vault is now closed. Bye, everyone.